All right. So let's find a nice, comfortable seated position. If for you that means stretching your legs out, go right ahead. Let's place our hands on the legs or thighs somewhere where we're connecting with our own warmth. If your hands are cold, you're also welcome to just tuck them in underneath the armpits. And let's close our eyes. And let's begin to take a few nice, deep, even breaths. Let's continue these deep, even breaths. And let's use an Ujjayi breath. So we're making a kind of ocean wave sound that you should be able to hear. Maybe the person next to you, if you're here in the room, could just barely hear your Ujjayi breath. And we want those nice, big, strong, ocean wave sounding breaths. Each inhale, we're filling the lungs. We're sitting up tall and strong. Each exhale, rooting down through the sits bones, connecting with the core. Let's keep these nice deep breaths going through. Let's release our arms and let's stretch our legs out into a V shape. Let's rub some warmth into the palms. And then we'll take that warmth and start to rub it into the muscles of the legs. Keep the deep breaths flowing. That's what's going to keep our metabolism up. And this breathing and this massaging is going to help our circulation. Then we could either leave our legs outstretched or bring them back into our seated position, our initial seated position. We're going to take our arms out wide to either side, thumbs up, and start to circle the arms. Draw the core inward. So we have that core support for the spine. And we're going to start a little 4-part breath. We're going to breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Then change direction. Same breath pattern. In, out, in, out, in, out. One more. And release those arms. A little Kundalini for us to warm us up. We'll stretch those legs back out into the V if they're not already. Let's take our right arm, reach it up. Exhale, lean to the side. We're going to windmill to the other side, inhaling that left arm up and exhaling to reach. We'll go side to side. The next time we're reaching and leaning to one side, let's hold there, breathing. And let's go to the other side. We'll reach and hold. Then let's reach up through both arms. Lean forward on the diagonal and hold. Scoop the core in. We're going to pulse the arms back, little tiny pulses. And we'll return to that breath, breathing in, out, in, out. One more set. And release the arms down. We're going to make fists and just do a little percussive massage onto the legs. So one time when I lived in Salt Lake City, it was really cold night like this. And I had just gotten in from the airport from Vermont to fly back to Salt Lake. And I was waiting for my friend to pick me up. So I had to stand out in the cold. And I was so cold. But like a good yogi, I used my breath of fire, which we just did a variation on. And it really helped. It warmed me up from inside. So this is a breath you can use throughout the day. These little puffs of breath, they heat the body from within. And it really did save me because he kept saying, I'm almost there, I'm almost there. I didn't want to go back in and miss my ride and be stuck there and have to take the bus. And that helped keep me warm. So let's take a moment to just balance left and right sides. Then let's make our way up onto our feet. I think I'll need to readjust the angle of my screen here, so bear with me. And we'll come into Tadasana on our mat. So feet hip distance apart, arms at our sides. As we inhale, let's reach the arms up. We're going to exhale into a chair pose as we bring the palms together. And we'll just do this several times, lifting tall, dropping into a chair pose, putting our weight in our heels. And if you want to generate more warmth in your legs, stay low. Don't come up so high and just drop lower on the exhale. And magically, before very long, it might already be happening, our legs will start to get very warm indeed. Let's sit low on our next exhale and hold there. So we want to reach our hips back, but our heart is still lifted up toward the sky. So we're not leaning forward through the torso. Then let's bring our arms into a goalpost position. As we inhale, we'll lift an inch, reach the arms out wide. Exhale, lower. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift just slightly. Exhale, lower. Couple more. One more time. And inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's bring our feet a little bit wider than the hips. Put a bend in the knees. We'll release our arms. Let the tailbone drop down as well, like we're tucking our tail under a little bit. And we'll start to sway the upper body. And we might be kind of slow and deliberate with the swaying, or we could go faster. But we want to give our deep body, our joints, and internal systems here time to warm up to this. Knees are a little bent, lower back completely relaxed. And little by little, let's sway our way back toward a neutral place. When we get there, let's press the legs up towards straight and let's bring our feet about as wide as the narrow edges of the mat. As we inhale, let's reach up to the sky. Bend the knees on the exhale. We'll bring the fingertips down to touch the mat. As we breathe in, let's roll up and we'll reach up. And exhale, bend the knees and drop down. So we're going lower than we did before. Our weight is still in our heels as we descend. A deep squat. So now we're warming up through the hips. Let's do a few more. Maybe even dropping a little deeper down. One more time. Then we'll meet up with our hands at our heart, bending the knees, centering our torso over both legs evenly. As we breathe in, let's lift both heels. And as we breathe out, let's lower the heels. We'll inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. And let's lift the heels. It might be a little or a lot. Let's bring our arms out into goalpost. We can make tiger claws here too if we like, if we're feeling kind of fierce. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. As we inhale, let's lift a little, spread the arms out wide. Exhale, lower a little, hug shoulder blades together. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, tiger claws. One more time. Hold, maybe lift those heels just a little higher. Draw the core in, fierce claws. And with our inhale, let's press up, reach out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's bring our hands onto our hips next. And let's take our right foot forward on the mat and our left foot back. So a nice long striding step. Let's bend the front knee. So we're in a kind of short warrior one, not as deep as we usually would be. We're gonna lift our front heel and sit the hips a little deeper. Lower the front heel and move the leg towards straight. Lift the front heel, set the hips a little deeper. Lower the front heel, bend that knee towards straight. And we'll lower and lift. One more time. Then let's bend the front knee and lift the heel, hold here. Reach the right arm forward over that right leg and the left leg back. Maybe sit a little deeper into the hips. Then let's take our right arm, reach it up. Left hand is on that back leg. Right heel still lifted. And we're sitting deep into that right hip crease. One more inhale. Exhale, release everything. Hands back onto the hips. We're going to steer our hips toward the front so that our belly button's pointing in the same direction as all 10 toes. You might need to scoot that left leg over a little bit. Take an inhale and exhale, reach the crown of the head forward out over those right toes. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Hands can stay on the hips or they could come onto that right thigh. Soften through the shoulders. Keep pulling that right hip back a little bit. Then let's press our way up. Hands can come back onto the hips. We'll step that left foot forward and reach the right foot back, coming into our mini warrior one pose, so not quite as deep as usual. Hands on those hips. We're going to lift the front heel, sit a little bit deeper. Lower the front heel, press the leg back. Bend the knee, lift the heel, straighten the leg, lower the heel. And we're just riding the wave of the breath, looking for that effortless place. Two more full breaths. And let's bend that front knee, lift the heel, we'll hold, reaching the left arm out over that left leg and the right arm back. And let's reach that left arm to the sky, right hand coming down that back leg. Keep lifting through that front heel, sitting deep into that front hip crease. One more inhale, exhale, release. We'll bring the hands back to the hips. We're going to steer our big bus steering wheel to the right, orienting all 10 toes straight ahead in line with the belly button. Take a big inhale. Exhale, reach the crown of the head forward toward the front of the room. Breathing here. I'm going to have to lose these trendy socks so don't go sliding. Hug your feet together, especially if you have socks on, so you don't slide. And let's rise up to neutral spine, and we'll walk the feet closer in together. Let's find one of our blocks, and we'll place that between the thighs, coming back into Tadasana, hugging into that block. As we breathe in, we're going to reach those arms forward, sitting the hips back, squeezing that block. Exhale, press back up, release the arms. Inhale, reach, sit back. Exhale, press upward. Let's keep going. Really activating those inner thigh muscles. Imagine you're trying to move the block back with the inner thighs. Two more. Last one, we're going to sit back and holding that nice deep chair pose. Take a look down. Make sure your feet and knees are in line with each other, so the feet aren't any wider than the knees. Then with an exhale, we'll sweep the arms back behind us. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sweep the arms. Inhale, lift. Two more. And one. We'll lift and release, hands to the heart. Let's take our block out, and we're going to hold that block in our hands. So our feet can continue in line with the hips and knees, or we can bring them closer together. We're going to place the block between the palms. Inhale, lift that block up overhead, and exhale, lower. So I'm a great example of what not to do as you lift. It's my natural spine. Want to draw the core in, so we're getting taller, but not going into a back bend. So now I'll try to be an example of the right way to do it. Let's do one more, just mobilizing the shoulders. And now, for fun, we're going to reach the block up. As we bring it down, we'll lift one knee, touch the block to the knee, reach the block back up, other knee, back and forth. As we step and move, let's see if we can step our foot right back to where it was. So we're not shifting our weight very much, side to side, keeping the core drawing in. So good for our balance. Let's do one more on each side. Then we'll bring the block right back in front of the belly, roll those shoulders back, bend the knees. We're going to lightly squeeze into our block. Keep our weight on our left foot. We're going to take our right foot out to the side and tap it, and then bring it back. Reach out and return. Inhale, exhale. As we reach, we could reach the block forward and bring it back. One more. Back to center. Let's rise up. We'll reach up. Big inhale. Exhale, lean to one side. Hold here. Then inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean to the other side. Hold here. We'll go back and forth. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lean. And with an inhale, let's reach straight up. Exhale, release. We'll bring that block right down in front of the belly. Bend both knees. We'll keep our weight on our right foot this time. Step that left foot out and bring it back. Step out, return, out, and return. So just the left leg is moving. And then if we want to get fancy, for me, this is fancy. Reach the block out and return. Two more. And one. Back to center, reach up, big inhale. Exhale, lean to one side. Big inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale, reach. And exhale, release. And we'll set that block aside for now. If you're wearing socks at home, you may want to take them off now. So we have our sticky mat available. We're going to bring our hands back to our hips, left foot forward, right foot back, now coming into a full warrior one. So we want the front knee in line with that front ankle. With our inhale, let's reach the arms up. As we exhale, we're going to press the arms downward like big wings. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hail down. Lift on the inhale. Exhale, lower. One more time. Then let's inhale and reach up. We'll open into warrior two as we exhale. Reaching that left arm forward, right arm back, and we're opening upward through the hips. Let's bring our hands to the hips for a moment here. As we inhale, we'll lift that left heel and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Then let's lift and hold. We'll stretch those arms out again. Then take the left arm up to the sky. Right hand is reaching down that back thigh. Lean into that front hip crease, dropping a little deeper as we reach upward through that left arm. One more inhale. Exhale, release. We'll straighten that front leg. Hands come back to the hips. We're going to reorient the hips so we're pointing the belly button straight forward. Might need to scoot that back foot out a little bit so the feet are hip distance apart, all 10 toes facing forward. With an inhale, let's lift tall. Exhale, fold, reaching the crown of the head forward out over those left toes. We're pulling that left hip back. And we might stay right here or reach the arms down that front leg, going a little deeper into our fold. We did a lot of hamstring stuff on Monday. It's all coming back to me now. Oh boy, deep breaths. We'll keep our hands connected to that front shin or thigh, but draw length into the torso again. So the crown of the head is reaching forward toward the front of the room. Let's take our left arm out to the side and up. So we're coming into a revolved triangle. Breathing deep. One more inhale. Exhale, release. We're going to rise back up nice and slow. Hands come back to the hips. Then let's switch our feet. Right foot forward, left leg back. Coming into our nice long warrior one pose. Front knee and ankle in line. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, press them down. And we'll move with the breath. Filling the lungs. Pressing down on the exhale. One more full breath. Then let's lift those arms. Big inhale. Exhale, open out into a warrior two. Beautiful. Softening through those shoulders. We can leave our arms outstretched or bring hands to hips. We're going to lift the front heel on the inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more. Then let's lift that front heel, hold. Inhale the right arm up, we'll hold here. Left hand reaching down to that back thigh. Exalted warrior, lift that front heel. Sit into that right front hip crease. One more big inhale. Exhale, release. Release the heel. Hands come to the hips. We'll straighten that front leg some. We're going to reorient, so all 10 toes facing the front of the room, steering the hips so the belly button's facing forward too. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, reach the torso forward, crown of the head reaching toward the front of the room. Right hip is pulling back. We can stay here, keeping hands on hips, or bring the hands down to that front thigh or shin, dropping into a little deeper fold. Let's take a few breaths here. Then deepening the breath, we'll start to lift the core to draw the torso upward, reaching the crown of the head forward again. We'll take our right arm out to the right and up. Revolve triangle pose. Keep reaching that right hip back. Right leg is pretty straight. One more inhale and exhale, release. We're going to walk the hands up that front leg, bringing the hands back onto the hips. Let's step forward, returning to our Tadasana pose. Let's find both of our blocks. And we're going to take one block and place it back between the thighs in Tadasana. The other block is going to be between our hands, palm to palm. Root those shoulders down the back. Sit back into chair, reach those arms up. Inhale, exhale, press up to Tadasana, arms lower. Inhale, sit back. Exhale, press up. Two more. Last one, we're going to sit back and hold, reaching those hips back, squeezing the block with the inner thighs. Reach the tailbone down toward the ground. One more inhale. Exhale, press up. Is anyone not warmed up? Okay. All right, so we succeeded. We're going to come down onto our mat to all fours. Please avail yourself of one of our pads or blankets to put under the knees. And we'll take some breaths in cat-cow. I turned the back heaters way up. I'm going to turn them down again now that we've got the room warm. So breathe in cat-cow. Inhaling to arch the back and exhaling to round the back. Then breathing our way back to a neutral spine, we'll position the hands right underneath the shoulders. We're going to soften through the heart, melting the heart closer to the mat, and then drawing the heart away from the mat. And you can look at me if you're not sure what I'm talking about. We're finding that range of motion through the shoulders, melting the heart, drawing it away. Core stays neutral, just drawing in a little bit. That looks really good, you guys. Good. Then let's find a place about halfway in between that full range of motion. We're going to hold there. Take the left leg back behind you. Reach the right arm forward. Lift and hold. Breathing here. Core drawing in and up. One more inhale. Exhale, lower. Back to tabletop. Then we'll switch sides. Reaching that, whoops, right leg back. Left arm forward. Core drawing up. And we'll lift those extended limbs and hold. Breathing here. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Let's either rest in a child's pose or a puppy pose. Turning the palms up, maybe opening and closing the hands a few times. Then deepening the breath, let's rise up. We're going to place one block where it would be underneath our right hand and tabletop, and the other for underneath our left knee. So it'll be asymmetrical. We can keep our padding under the right knee if we wish. We're going to place our right hand on the block and our left knee on the block. So already the brain is just like, what? And now we're just going to elevate the left palm and the right knee so that we're back on the level plane, except now we've got to use our core to be here instead of just look around. So we're just hovering and breathing. Then on an inhale, we'll stretch out right leg, left arm, and hover here. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, release. We'll take a little child's pose, even though we're still in our asymmetrical thing. Breathing deep. And let's rise up again. We'll do one more thing on this side. So again, we're going to hover that right knee and the left hand. Let's bring our left fingertips to the left shoulder. We'll open the right hip to the right, left elbow to the left, then bring everything back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. One more time. Then let's open and hold. We'll extend the arm, extend the legs. We're reaching out on this diagonal line. Big inhale. And exhale, release. We'll come down. Let's slide our blocks out of the way for now. Child's pose or puppy pose. Deep breaths. Then let's gently rise up again. We're going to place our front block underneath the left palm and the other one, so it'll be underneath the right knee. We'll come back to tabletop. It should feel very strange. And we'll gradually lift the right palm and the left knee until we're back on tabletop, but hovering. We'll find our core center so we can hold here, just hovering and breathing, finding our balance point. And as we breathe in, let's reach right arm forward, left leg back. Let's hold, hovering here, breathing deep. One more inhale and exhale, release down. We'll take a moment in a child's pose, breathing into the back. And let's rise on up again, finding our asymmetrical tabletop, hovering that right palm and left knee, again, finding our balance point. One side is usually easier than the other. Then we'll bring our right fingertips to the right shoulder. As we inhale, we'll hinge that left hip open to the left, elbow open to the right. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, open it out. Exhale, return. One more time. Then we'll open everything out, hold, extend on that diagonal line, reaching the left leg out and the right arm out, breathing deep. One more inhale. Exhale, bring it all in and release. Child's pose or puppy pose, just slide those blocks out of the way. This concludes the brain intensive portion of today's practice. So we'll just breathe deep into the back. Let's gently press our way up. We'll come into Dandasana pose, stretching the legs straight out in front of us. We can pull the flesh out from underneath the sits bones. Let's reach our fingertips to either side. We'll inhale and reach up, lightly interlace the fingers. Exhale, lean a little bit to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean the other way. Inhale, center. One more time to each side. Then back to center, big inhale. We'll forward fold on the exhale. Feel free to put an ample bend in the knees. So we're hinging into that hip crease and not putting any strain on the lower back or hamstrings. And let's gently rise back up, neutral spine. We're going to take our right foot and draw it in closer, just drawing it straight in. Our left arm is going to come around to the outside of that right thigh. Take the right hand to the lower back and release the lower back. Just let it drop into the support of the hand. Then let's bring our right hand behind us and we'll start to twist using our exhale to draw the core muscles in. We've got a nice long spine here, massaging the vital organs with the exhales. Let's unwind. And we'll take this right hip and allow it to open. We're going to bring the sole of that right foot to the left inner thigh and then readjust so both sits bones have solid connection to the ground. We're getting ready to fold along this diagonal line between the two knees. So we'll inhale and reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold along that diagonal. Again, feel free to put a bend in that left knee. And just be gentle on the hamstring. Fingertips can come to the ground. Jaw is nice and soft here. And deepening the breath, let's walk the hands back into center. I'm going to tip this right foot and thigh up again, reorienting the sits bones so that the belly button's pointing straight ahead toward the toes. Then we're going to take this right foot and place it to the outside of that left knee. Left arm is going to come around and hug that right thigh in close. Lower back, releasing. We'll start to walk those right fingertips back behind us. Again, using our exhales to get into the twist. Exhale all the way each time. And let's unwind. We'll come back to center. Stretch both legs out long and just kind of run in place for a moment. Then let's find our blocks and bring them to either side, right alongside the hip. And put our hands on the blocks. Exhale, press up, lift the hips. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, low. If you want to be more fancy as you lift one leg, then the other. Some people actually can lift both legs. Not me. Not yet, maybe one day. One more. And release. We'll slide those blocks out of the way. We'll take our left leg, we'll slide it in till the sole of the foot comes onto the ground. Right hand will come around outside that left thigh. Bring the left hand to the lower back and just soften the lower back into the hand. Then we'll reach left hand behind us and start to twist. We're pressing firmly into the left foot, like we want to leave a footprint on our mat, and using our exhales to twist. One more exhale. And let's inhale, unwind. We'll tip this left thigh open, sliding the sole of the foot to the right inner thigh, and then readjusting. So both sits bones are connected to the earth and we're oriented along that diagonal. Then let's take our inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold, reaching long, then touching down, letting the back round, and taking several breaths here. Just softening the jaw, softening the eyes. And let's walk the hands back up. Let's tip this left thigh back to center, reorienting the hips, so belly button's pointing in the direction of the toes. Then we'll take this left foot and bring it to the outside of the right. Right hand is going to come around and hug that thigh closer in. Left hand comes back behind us and we'll start to twist, letting that lower back just soften. The main fuel for the twist comes from our strong exhale. So the more you can exhale, the more you can detox your vital organs, clearing out from the inside. And let's gently unwind. We'll uncross and we'll make our way down onto our backs. However you want to get there. Once we come down, let's bring the knees in close to the belly, putting a hand on each shin and gently rock side to side, massaging the back. And let's rock back to center. Stretch the legs up to the sky just in a leisurely way. Let's circle the ankles. Breathing deep. And change direction. And let's paddle the feet, paddle the ankles. And let's bring the knees out wider apart, coming into happy baby pose. We'll bring the hands right behind the crease of the knee. Soles of the feet are reaching up to the sky. So we can either just hang out here in happy baby, getting a nice hip release, or if you crave movement, you can lean toward one side, stretch that leg out, lean back to center, bending the knee. Part of what drives our desire for movement or stillness is our Ayurvedic constitution. Those of us who are more Vata crave more movement, but it's not always what we need. So if you are moving, make it very soothing. We'll make our way back to center. Drawing the legs closer in, we'll cross the right thigh over the left. Put a hand on each knee. Point the toes toward your ears. Draw the feet closer to the ears. We should feel a deep stretch through the right outer hip. Let's take a couple deep breaths here. And let's gently unwind. We'll cross the other way, left thigh over right. Hand on each knee, point the toes toward the ears, pull the thighs in close, gently breathing, inviting that stretch into the left outer thigh. Then let's unwind, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Let's take our block one last time for a supported bridge pose. So let's press the hips up just enough to slide the block under the sacrum. And we want this to be really comfortable. So adjust where it's positioned so it feels really good to your back. If no position for the block feels good today, just take the block out. And let's rest in this supported bridge pose, returning to our deep Ujjayi breaths, those ocean wave sounding breaths. So you want that breath loud enough that you can hear it. Maybe the person next to you can hear it as well. Drawing that deep, life-giving inhale to fill the lungs. Rolling the breath out like a great big wave of life energy, massaging its way through your whole body. We'll release our Ujjayi breath, just letting the breath be still nice and full, but quiet. And as we fill the lungs all the way with the inhale, let's simply pause for a moment or two with the breath full, filling the lungs, and then just release the breath. When you breathe in, slowly fill the lungs all the way up. Then pause full, feeling that life energy circulating. And just release it freely back into the universe. Let's do that a few more times. Slowly filling the lungs, bathing the heart in light and warmth, and releasing the breath. And we'll just let the breath do whatever it wants to do. Let's take our arms, slowly reach them up overhead. Take a couple of breaths, stretching and reaching long. Then let's return our arms to our sides. We'll lift those hips just enough to slide the block out. And we'll come down into Shavasana. If you want to layer up again, because we're We've been still for a little while. This is a good time to put on an extra layer. If you'd like to elevate your feet, you could place the 2 blocks at the lower end of the mat underneath the calves. So even that little bit of elevation is good for the heart, good for the immune system. But if you're just kind of done and you want to just enjoy a simple Shavasana, great. Let yourself gravitate toward that peaceful stillness. Let's bring our awareness back to the heart center, filling the heart gently with light as we take some slightly deeper breaths in. Let's wiggle the fingers and the toes, stretching if that feels good. And gradually, slowly, let's make our way to one side. And we'll use our hands to help. Press our way up. Finding that nice centered seat, whatever that looks like. Once we arrive, let's place the hands right on the heart center, closing the eyes for a moment, bowing the head to the heart. Honor the spark of divinity within you, the life force that circulates through your body, keeps you warm and glowing. Honor yourself for the good energy you brought to today's practice. Invite it to stay with you and radiate outward to those whose lives we touch. May we all have hope, joy, love, light, and laughter. Thank you all so much. Namaste.
Namaste.